I think it was Saturday morning. The team said Ryan Kerrigan, Sharif Floyd, and Pete Ohanian are out. These are all dudes I know to some degree. I've known Ryan a long time.
Yep.
I think Kerrigan is the headline of this class. But I think you got to separate how you feel about the player that, I mean, listen, he's the all-time sack leader for the organization. Ryan Kerrigan is a huge part of the burgundy and gold. Like, you can't tell the story of Ryan Kerrigan. You can't tell the story of Washington football without Ryan Kerrigan. But once you get into the coaching capacity, it's a different beast.
Yeah, you could be moving every other year or sometimes every year. And the thing of it is when you look at, and listen, everyone that wants to be up in arms, we've heard a lot of people call in. We've seen a lot of comments on social media. The defense wasn't very good. And how you going to make it to where you can let go of everybody else and not one person can't? I just think in this profession, like pro football is bad enough. Pro football coaching, you move way more often than you do as a player. And I think Ryan understood that when he got into it.
Well, and I wonder, too, with Ryan, if it was like, I want to be a coach. I mean, because real coaches, like Scott Turner, right, was on with the Junks last week, but that's a dude you and I both know well.
Yeah.
I texted with him.
I've known him since I taped him up and threw him in the hamper.
Like, I think he was shocked to be let go by the Jets, especially when it happened, and now he's looking for a new gig. And that means for Turner, since he was fired here in 22, right?
By that?
So I think he was here 20, 21, 22, got fired, then it was Bieniemy for 23, then it was DQ and Cliff in 24, right? Rough math there. Since he was here for 3 years, he has then gone to Vegas, then to New York, and presumably now will end up, I don't know,
wherever.
Indianapolis, Tennessee. He's going to end up somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And you're uprooting your family every time. When you think about what some of these assistant coaches, think about Durante Jones, the Commanders' new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, he's been had a world
He's been
tour.
from Hawaii to Montreal and everywhere in between.
I think when you moving from one aspect of this professional, just from one aspect to the other, you have to make a very, very conscious decision. Because the football thing, hell, for some people, football, they go somewhere different every year, to be honest with you. You know, when you get into the coaching ranks, you have no control when they start moving you around. Even in the media, same thing can happen.
Totally, dude.
You know? So I just think that a lot of times people, they want to make things bigger than what they are. This is nothing new.
Now, it feels different because Kerrigan has such a significant football history here, right? But if you just look at it, so I don't know anything, but Kerrigan played his whole career here. Mm-hmm. Then after the 2020 season, Ron wouldn't re-sign him. He signs with the Eagles. He retires after that, comes back, gets the assistant D-line coach. He coached here for 4 seasons. Mm-hmm. A lot of assistant coach contracts are 2 years. Mm-hmm. So he might have gotten a contract, gotten another contract, and this could be more of a contract expiration. Maybe he had a 3-year deal. Maybe he had a lifetime deal because he's Ryan freaking Kerrigan. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't think this should be an up-in-arms situation. Now, that's not to say it won't be. So I thought Landfill did a decent job in classic Landfill fashion. The BMitch and Finlay AAA poll question of the day. Are you upset the Commanders fired Ryan Kerrigan? The options, Brian. Yes, no, or he worked for the team? Question mark.
Yeah.
I think most fans were well aware that he worked for the team. But I don't think folks should be upset. Of course, the AAA poll question of the day is brought to you by AAA. Level up with the new AAA Commanders MVP membership. Get all the benefits of AAA plus exclusive experiences, discounts, and tickets. If you're already a AAA member, upgrade for free or join today at AAA.com/Commanders. I don't think fans should be upset. I think this is about football and not, for me, I don't think this changes Ryan's legacy or role with the organization.
It doesn't. I mean, and the thing you got to understand, too, you can have 2 different legacies with an organization. As a football player, it's outstanding. As a coach, it's something he's trying to figure out. You know what I mean? When I first left from playing ball, I had been doing what I was doing even while I played.
Media stuff.
Then I got to a point with the NFLPA where we came up with this thing called the externship, where while guys are playing in the offseason, we connected them with different businesses to know if that's something you want to do.
We had guys come through at CSN. I remember that.
Ryan stopped playing, and then he decided to go coach. Listen, to be honest with you, I can understand. Ryan Kerrigan is probably like most athletes. When he gets involved with something, he's going to be into it. Probably got involved and realized it's a lot more time consuming than what the plan was. But at this point now, we'll see if he wants to continue on. I'm sure he can get an opportunity somewhere. But
I don't know.
You can't force people on guys that come in. If Durante is going to be your D coordinator, he needs to be able to get guys that he teaches stuff how he wants it seen.
I think especially considering if you look at the guys that were booted here, it was guys up front.
Yeah.
Right? Durante is by trade a corner, a safety, a DB's coach. So he knows hands-on what he's going to do in the back. He needs somebody he knows and trusts to run things in the front. You know what I mean?
How he wants it done, yeah.
So I think that is not necessarily a surprise, but if you look at the guys that were booted here, it's Kerrigan, Sharif Floyd is your assistant D-line coach.
And
I'm very curious what this means for Daryl Tapp. I think that's a name to keep an eye on. Mm-hmm. Maybe they bring somebody else in, and then Tapp is, I don't know, do you get demoted? Do you take a demotion? I don't know. But like
this is a profession, bro, where you you never know. And I think you look at some coaches have been offensive coach one year and a defensive coach the next.
Right.
You know, but
Raheem Morris has coached on a lot of sides.
You are trying to get as much experience as you can, just in case you ever pop up and you can become the main guy.
And especially when you're on this assistant coach level, not to say they don't make a nice living, but they're not touching the numbers. Nobody's touching the numbers players are making, but they're not touching the numbers coordinators are making, head coaches. If you're an assistant position coach, I'm not suggesting you're not making six figures, but it probably starts with a one. Like and then some of the assistant position coaches, it might not even be that much.
Some teams, it starts higher than one.
Sure, but like if you're the assistant player development guy, like there's some people in that building where you drive a Honda Accord. You know what I'm saying?
But see, everybody thinks that everybody involved with sports makes $1 million, which is not necessarily true.
But my point is, when you are in some of these roles, it's say it's a self-preservation league. First off, nobody ever wants to be out of the league because there's no cooler gig in the world than being in the league.
Yeah.
But some of these dudes are also just trying to keep a job because they got 3 kids and a mortgage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, okay, we got to rent this house, and now we got to find a new rental in Cleveland or Chicago or wherever I can get my next gig. So I don't think these should be surprises. I'd keep an eye on what's going to happen with Daryl Tapp because they're making these adjustments on the front line here. I feel like Ken Norton's not a dude you really mess with. Ken Norton's the linebackers coach. We'll see what happens there. The other side of the ball, the offensive side of the ball, is where now that Anthony Lynn, who interviewed for the Bills head coaching job and the Browns head coaching job, did not get either of those head coaching jobs, I believe Lynn will be back. I've heard from sources that David Rye should be back. That was there's some question there, and if Cliff gets an OC job, could that look different? But I think he's sticking around. Mm-hmm. Brian Johnson is the real question mark here because if you're Brian Johnson and you were passing game coordinator and you've called plays before in Philly, albeit that landed poorly, but like I think that finished poorly because Sirianni needed a scapegoat and he made it Brian Johnson rather than Brian Johnson was the problem. Like in Philly, you see the volatility every year. It's Super Bowl or people are getting fired. Vic Fangio, have you seen this? Fangio's mulling retirement. It's not because he doesn't like the player he's coaching.
It got to be he don't like that dude.
So that
dude's weird, man.
I have a really hard time thinking Brian Johnson was the problem in Philly when you see like just a crazy roller coaster.
Nah, Brian wasn't the problem.
That said, Brian Johnson may be wanting to leave after, okay, man, like you're getting rid of Cliff. I am here. I can be your OC. All right, you're going with the young guy. where the hell am I going for?
Yeah, but I don't think that's the mindset for most guys because we just, in this profession, you can say, I don't want to be here because I'm upset, and you won't end up somewhere.
Well, it's just worth pointing out the Broncos requested to interview Brian Johnson over the weekend.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
You leave when you know you got something there. If you don't have anything there, you stay right where you're at.
So what's interesting about the Denver job is he can leave. He can take the interview because it's a promotion. Because right now he's pass game coordinator. That would be OC.
Yeah.
But he's still not the play caller. Sean Payton calls the plays.
Yeah.
So it's like it's moving up nominally, but maybe it's a better opportunity. You go.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Sean Payton seems like a world-class jerk.
Yeah.
But he's a hell of a coach,
Yeah.
and maybe that gets you your next opportunity.
Sean Payton needs to go lay down and talk to somebody. Because Sean Payton, why would you even start messing with this dude, bro?